Cyndie is a character that first appeared in Season 7's Swear. She is everyone's favourite Oceanside member because most of those Oceanside members are very unlikable. She of course was the granddaughter of the now deceased Netanya, who was shot by Enid. And after this happened, Cyndie took the reins of leadership in the Oceanside, becoming the community's shining beacon. However, Cyndie last appeared in Season 10, Episode 8, The World Before, and since then has just never been seen again. We don't know what happened to her. Or do we? Dramatic pause, okay? Dramatic pause. Pretend this is like your favourite detective show. Now in Season 7's The Lucky Ones, we see Rachel kind of taking the reins of power now. We also saw her take the reins of power during the Season 9 episode The Calm Before. She signs the Coalition Charter representing Oceanside, but she did reference Cyndie in that episode, just that Cyndie couldn't be there. However, in Season 11, she's like the full-on leader, this child, and she's the one who talks to Pamela Milton, ultimately telling Pamela that the Oceanside is not on board with her deal because the Hilltop isn't. Oof. Cyndie also makes no appearance at the end of Acts of God when Lance is seemingly about to massacre the entire Oceanside. Yeah, Cyndie wasn't there. Where is she? Where the hell was Cyndie during this time? Well, in a social media post, Angela Kang was posed the question of the fate of the Oceanside, and she confirmed that they are not all dead, adding that we originally wrote a scene in the Oceanside for the finale, but we were forced to cut it before we filmed it due to unexpected circumstances that came up that were out of our control. Separately, sometimes we weren't able to go back to characters we wanted to go back to because the actors weren't available. Oceanside was a port community, and characters who lived there often took long fishing and sailing expeditions to explore and scavenge. That's what I personally think Cyndie was doing at the time of the Commonwealth's attack. Rachel was there leading the fight. So there we go, right? Cyndie wasn't there because she was just on a fishing expedition. Now, obviously, the real reason why Cyndie wasn't there was because the actress was just not available, but in terms of, like, the story reason, it's, yeah, Oceanside's a port place, right? She was out fishing, with a crew most likely. And eventually, she likely made it back to the Oceanside and heard about the Commonwealth commotion. Case closed, right? That's Cyndie's fate confirmed. She's alive, don't worry, she just didn't appear. But wait. I've got more, okay? I have got more. Now, recently, I have been absolutely in love, I tell you, with the Walking Dead universe role-playing game. I've been studying the core rulebook, I've been looking at the different scenarios, I've even been editing for the wiki, okay? I'm absolutely obsessed with this role-playing game at the moment, okay? And in it is a little revelation about Cyndie. So basically this RPG is just like D&D in some ways. It's a little different. Obviously there's some more unique rules and some more functions that work differently to the classic D&D setup. And the core rule book that you can buy separately to the starter kit includes this campaign for you to basically just play right off the bat without having to make your own. And that's this Atlanta campaign, right? It's set in the sort of suburbs around Atlanta and a little bit of the sort of wider Georgia area, or a part of it anyway. Within this little campaign setup, you have like these different factions, and you have like different scenarios, and then there's these two locations that you can visit. One is this peach farm, and the other is the Lake Boat Settlement. Now, on the Lake Boat Settlement, you will find none other than Cyndie. That's right, folks, okay? You can play an RPG game and find Cyndie. Haha, it's all written out for you. So, the Lake Boat Settlement basically is 3 lake boats connected by ropes, and they're floating on the lake, okay? There's some supplies on board, there's several guns, there's, some fuel, but there are also walkers in all 3 boats. The boat residents, unfortunately, died from a disease that spread quickly, and anyone who touches one of the walkers who's exposed to the disease will basically, suffer from that, and they'll have to roll some dice and stuff. If the player characters search the boats, they will find one survivor, and that survivor is Cyndie. she'll be hiding inside like a little locker. She's all sick, she's coughing, alright? But you can save her if you roll for medicine. So cool, right? Awesome. But how the hell did she get in Georgia, of all places? Well, the rulebook explains Cyndie eventually left the Oceanside on an expedition out to sea. Of course, this correlates with what Angela Kang believes as well. But the boat was unfortunately caught in a storm that took it south and sunk it. So I assume everyone else that she was on board the boat with died. Ripperoo. She wandered west and eventually ended up in the Atlanta area, joining the local group of survivors who inhabited the Lake Boat settlement. Right? They were basically a bunch of old tour boats. But unfortunately, though, everyone got infected with this disease, and as a result of it, everyone died except Cyndie. And that's it, really. That's all we know. Now, obviously, it's a role-playing game, so anything can happen. You could fail the medicine roll and kill her, or you could save her life and eventually help her get back to Oceanside. I mean, the world is your oyster, basically. Now, obviously, you can't consider this canon, really, right? Because it's a role-playing game. But I think there's an argument to be made that everything that happens before you actually find Cyndie could be considered canon, right? It all aligns with what we know happened to her in the show. We know that she, of course, went on an expedition, and it makes sense that her boat sunk, right? Because she doesn't make it back to Oceanside at any point in season 11. Maybe we can just consider it canon that she ended up in the sort of Atlanta area and that she got sick. And then from there, we just kind of don't know, right? Maybe she survived, maybe she was found and helped, or hell, maybe she died. Who knows? So I know I said Cyndie's fate explained, but I lied. I'm sorry, okay? But I thought this was really interesting. This role-playing game is absolutely amazing. I'm absolutely in love with it, okay? And another little cool trivia. You remember The Living? You'd be like, who the fuck are The Living, okay? The Living is basically Dave and Tony's group from season 2. Well, poor Cyndie, right? She's not too far from those guys. Not Dave and Tony, but Nate. Do you remember Nate? No. Well, Nate is this random guy driving the truck, right? He drives away after Randall jumps off the roof and fails. Yeah, that Nate guy, he's not far from Cyndie, okay? I'm worried about her, right? So, yeah, I thought this was just a really cool video. Let me know what your thoughts are on Cyndie's fate. What do you believe is the canon? What do you believe happened to her? Do you hope that she's alive? Or do you not give a shit because the Oceanside was pretty pointless? I don't know. Let me know either way. Goodbye. Also, if you want some more cool lore from the Walking Dead role-playing game, do let me know because there's some more cool trivia in there, okay? There is.